Hi there, welcome back to Creatively Crafted Life. My name is Melanie, and today is another Smash Our Stash video. This month, February 2026, we are focusing on using loose papers in our stash. So not necessarily things that belong to a particular collection or kit, but just, you know, those papers that we have hanging around. Some of us will sort them by theme or by color. And I decided to work on my 6x6 or use some of my 6x6 cardstock. And if you had followed me last year, I went through my 6x6 paper pads. I decluttered a bunch and I broke up a bunch of pads, sorted them by color, and I've fallen back in love with them. That's often what happens when I do some sort of declutter, right? And so I thought what I would do is make some little card kits. So I've talked about page kits in the past where I combine, you know, 3 to 5 pieces of cardstock together to form a page kit, or a card kit, like a card base kit. And now we're actually gonna cut some of those down into ready to go little literally card kits. Yeah, so before we get into that though, I just want to remind everyone that this is a collaboration hosted by Beth over at Bourbon Creek Crafts. There is a link in the description below for the other participants. You never know what you're going to get because we all take it in very different directions. So what I did initially was I went through some of my recent card designs because I figured that's kind of the style of card I'm making right now, and I'm focusing a lot on using my stamps, and so I wanted to have cards that I could use to draw color schemes from, as well as then be able to just quickly add the colored image once I was finished. So what I did was I actually did a mock-up. That's what this is. So this is my example and it's to scale. And then I wrote on here roughly the size of the image that would fit in this particular design. Now, you'll notice when I do the kit, I mostly didn't supply the neutral patterns or some of the matting if I thought that those sizes would vary. And I did that intentionally because really this is a 3x4, but I could go much smaller, or I could even go a little bit larger, although you would not see much of the pattern paper. So something to keep in mind. I did write instructions on the back. My intent is that if this works, and I really do like this, that I'm going to type this up and add a nicer instruction sheet on the back. I did add a tab. These are my most favorite dividers. I use these for everything. They're just clear, sticking out kind of tabs. And I'm going to come up with some sort of name for these. If the design is from like if I got it from, let's say, Cards by Kendra or Crafty Al, I obviously will reference that in here so that I can be sure to give them credit. If they are designs that I just came up with on my own, not saying that they don't have something similar, but if I didn't, you know, reference them when I was coming up with them, I'm just going to come up with some sort of name for that. So I've tried to indicate if this is like a scrap card or if this is a 6x6. This was a 6. Most of these I use 6x6 by, and I actually used up 50 6x6 sheets, loose sheets. So that's my smash for this month. And then I basically pre-cut a bunch and have them ready to go. Now these all fall behind this tab, so I know these are all for that particular design. So now when I'm doing maybe like a stash revival kind of thing, and I have an image that's roughly 3x4, I can come here and peruse what's available, pick one of them out if I want, and use that as a color inspiration. And then I can easily come in and replenish these as needed. Now, do I have to use 6x6? No, I've put the dimensions of the pieces individually down as well, so I can just cut them from whatever. But obviously, if I'm going to use a 6x6 paper pad, why not maximize, right? So I've also have this design. You'll notice that these were ones that were used in my Stash Revival video from January. And again, I just went through my papers. I did not use any of my card paper kits. I actually just went into my kit starter section, pulled the pattern paper, and then went to the color section and pulled coordinating colors. And like I said, you don't see any mattes or any of the white pieces in here, just to keep it easy. Now, one of the cards that I decided to replicate is actually an interactive card. And I don't know if I wrote that on here. Oh yeah, no I didn't, but I'm gonna have to write that on here so that I understand that this needs to come out. And basically it's the design with the measurements of where you score, etc. And I'm using just these cellophane bags with no seal on them. The seal just drives me crazy. I don't want to seal these. I want to be able to pull them in and out. And I think, while cellophane bags are not my most favorite as far as durability and stuff goes, I do think that these are going to be minimally used, and so I'll be able to reuse them over and over again. So one of the other things I need to sort out is I will have situations like this one where I have 3 different card designs all from the same 6x6 paper grouping, if you will. And so what I've done initially is I've just put on the left hand side the initial one, and then I know on this side these 2 are part of this. In an ideal world, I would probably have these all together so that when I pull this out to make some other kits, I know that they're all coordinated, but I want to have the actual cutouts behind the design. So I'm not so sure yet how I'm going to accommodate that. And maybe I just do something as simple as this and then reference the name or have a numbering system or something. Any ideas? If you've done something similar to this, I'd love to hear how you kind of keep track of that. So this particular one, all the instructions are on the back of here. And there's 3 different card kind of dimensions out of it. The other thing that I've done is most of these I try to do minimal scraps, but if there are any little scraps left over, I do include those in the bags as well, because I will use them as like banners or decorative pieces on the inside of cards. And why not keep them with the coordinating material than putting them in my scrap bin? Unless the scraps are really large that I can make another card out of it, I think that's probably a good route to go. And then I've got ones like this where, this is another thing, I'm not quite sure how I want to deal with this. Like this particular thing is really just 2 pieces of pattern cardstock, and I can move this around, right? So I can move this from on this side to on this side. I can move it to the middle. I don't know that I need to have 3 different iterations of the same thing, but I also suspect that over time, as I'm developing these, I might end up with multiples of the same design, or at least the same cutout, or the same dimensions of the pieces. I'm not too worried about it at this point in time. We'll deal with it whenever. But this is really a good point for why I'm not actually putting these together, because that's probably what you're going to say is, why don't you just turn them into a card base like you've done other scraps and stuff like that? The reason why I'm not doing that is because I want to give myself the flexibility so that if I do want to switch things up or maybe add some dimension underneath the pattern or whatever, that I have that flexibility. So by doing this, I have options. This just gives me the starting off point. Does that make sense? I hope so. Again, I don't know if this is going to work or not. I just want to see. I want to give it a try, especially because I'm doing more cards with stamped images right now. We'll see. So I've got a few other designs that I've put together. Some of them I have more little kits made up because I think they're just really usable. Like, did I really need to have a design that looks like this? No, not really, but because this is a pretty basic, pretty basic design, but I have leftover scraps that will then turn into this card. So why not have them ready to go, right? This is another interactive kind of Z-fold card. So I put on here Fun Fold, and then I've got, you know, the patterns that will coordinate with that. So here's another one where it makes 2 different card bases with 1 set of papers. And then I had a few where I went through some of my scraps and just kind of put together some designs. And so these ones won't have any additional cutouts, I don't think, for the most part. Oh, maybe some of them will. But I just put it on the back, great scrappy card, and then I just gave the dimensions. Some of this is loose, right? Like this particular piece is 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. Could I make it bigger? Yeah, I could make it 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. It's just more the idea than anything else, right? Almost like a sketch. Oh, this is one where I have some multiples. And this is another one. This is a pretty basic design, but I had a lot of scraps that fit that dimension, so why not put them together? So that is it for Smash or Stash this month. Like I said, I used up about 50 pieces of 6x6 cardstock putting this together. Well, I think I have at least 50 cards, I think, that I could make out of this, so I'm set for a little bit. Am I going to use these all the time for, you know, every card that I make? No. I like having different options available, so it would be things like I still have my card page kits, right, where I have the 3 6x6 paper pads already pre-sorted. If I want to come up with a new design or use somebody else's card as inspiration, I have that flexibility. If I'm just looking for a really quick base after I color some images, I can use these. And then of course there's always the complete, you know, from scratch 6x6 without any coordination at all. So that is it for this month. I hope you're inspired. I don't know if this is necessarily for everybody, but if you do something like this, I would love to hear any tips and tricks for how you manage this. And yeah, be sure to check out the other collaborators by clicking on the description below. And until next time, happy crafting.